Hello, this is Shanker today, and anything you want to know about me, you go to my website shankerstudy.com. I have made a lot of changes in it, so you would find it more interesting. Today, and there has been a lot of request to see the horoscope of Arvind Kejriwal by my followers. So I thought that I'll see the horoscope of Arvind Kejriwal. Now, horoscopes of politicians, basically, we do not know the time. So I follow my Bhrigu system, where Jupiter plays a very pivotal role. And we have taken his date of birth as 16th August 1968. I've taken 12 a.m. for the sake of convenience, born at Hisar. So considering it is horoscope of Arvind Kejriwal and the date is 16th August 1968, I have this horoscope in place, and we have to see whether he would do well in the elections, which would be around the period of March 2024. While I explain you the horoscope of Arvind Kejriwal, I will also explain you certain rules of Bhrigu and other Vedic principles which I apply to, come to the results which are there. Now, if you look at the horoscope of Arvind Kejriwal at the moment, in his horoscope, basically it is, I would say, not a very strong horoscope, because for any politician, Saturn has to be very strong. And his Saturn is debilitated. Being retrograde, it of course, I always say retrograde planets are strong, but the whole misnomer that a retrograde planet becomes exalted is not right. A debilitated retrograde planet, people say it becomes exalted, which is not right. It becomes bitter. So in his case, Saturn is retrograde. It is in Aries, and retrograde planets are nothing but all about your karmic debt. They are actually some karmas which you have done in the past, which were good, you will get the results of that, and which were bad, you will get the results of that. That is what retrograde planets are there, and they amplify the results. They are sudden, they are impulsive, and they are rash. They take you up and they take you down, and that is what has been in the case of Arvind Kejriwal also. If you look at Saturn retrograde, it has created a lot of problems, and it has also put him to heights, in terms of becoming CM of Delhi from nowhere. He was a social worker and etc., etc. We all know about it, but that is what retrograde planet does. They are the karmic debts. And whenever Saturn is retrograde, I've seen such people in the last birth, Pichle Janam mein, they have done some good work in terms for the society, but they have also done a lot of harm for the people who have been under them. जिनके जो उनके अंदर काम करते थे, they have been not good to them also. So it is always said that such people should always do good for people who are working under them, below them. They should be nice. They should be nice to the masses. They should not be deceiving the masses in this birth, and then it would give you a slightly better results. But the prarabdha is that they have not done good karmas with the people, with a lot of people working with them, below them, but they might have done something for the earth, Mother Earth, in some way, by which they will also get good results. This is what Saturn retrograde, we can go in a lot of details on this, and this is a whole chapter by itself on retrograde Saturn. It's a very important planet, retrograde Saturn, retrograde Jupiter. They unfold and fold life, but here, let me put it to this, that it will give negative and positive results, sudden negative, sudden positive results. And here, because it is debilitated, I will not say that Saturn is strong. Yes, it becomes better from debilitation. So, his being a politician for a very big long time, I do not even see that. His being a mass leader for a big time, I do not see that coming into play. That may not also, that also is a question mark as far as I'm concerned, only with this planet, and which has a moon ahead of it. Saturn, whenever has moon ahead of it, has its own issues. It is good in a lot of things, but it is good in a lot of other things also. Moon is in the house of Taurus, and then Taurus signifies things like, finance, money, family. So, those things could be good, but it has 12th a retrograde Saturn again, which will have its own impact there also. Then the Most important thing is horoscope you see is that Mars is debilitated. A debilitated Mars was not supposed to be good in the yugas, that is the in the Treta Yuga or period before. But in the present world, that is Kali Yuga, we have to see Desh Kal Patra. And if we see that in the present Yuga of today, a debilitated Mars is good because you have to be cunning, you have to be intelligent, you have to do things which are deceptive. You need to do all those things which are not supposed to be good, or are not exemplified in the Vedas and the other books. That is when Parashar did it, astrology. The नीच का मंगल आज के टाइम में अच्छा है. It is good for today's time. A debilitated Mars is good for today's time. It also gives money to you, but not in the right way, and it is certainly not good for being in the masses, because at the end of the day it is in the house of Cancer, and Cancer is in the house of masses. When you have a debilitated Mars there, you would be deceiving the masses. You could be making money. Everything has a live aspect and a non-live aspect. So you could be there, with the masses, but a debilitated Mars in Cancer, I believe, is not so great because there is a deceptive factor. And this I talk only with astrology, without any other things attached to it. This is what is my view of a debilitated Mars whenever it is there in the horoscope of a politician, and especially when I make the chart from Aries as the Lagna. I've not taken Chandra Lagna. I have taken Aries as the first Lagna and then talked about it. It comes in the 4th house also. It is also the house of Cancer. And there a debilitated Mars alone, having a moon in the 11th of it. Now, whenever a debilitated Mars will have moon in 11th of it, a person will be watery, will have a watery sign in nature. It is a fixed and a watery sign together, because Taurus is fixed and moon is there exalted, but moon by nature is watery. So you will have a persona which looks to be very emotional and watery, but it is fixed in nature. You're very clear in what you want to do. If you want to deceive, you'll be very clear in the deception part of it, or whatever you want to do, negative or positive. But debilitated Mars in the 4th house does not augur well for a politician. So a Saturn which is debilitated, a Mars which is debilitated, both are not very good. And if Saturn had retrograde, would not have been there, then a Mars and Saturn debilitated in any horoscope is not a good thing to have. It in the horoscopes of it's a Saturn which is about masses, and Mars is the executor. And if these two planets get debilitated, then for public life and for good of the public, it is not a great horoscope to be there. The only thing which helps now how he became the CM, etc., is because there are a lot of planets which are in Leo. That is the sign of government. And Leo is also a sign of strategy. So, this is a 5th house, and it's also a sign of Leo. So it's a sign of government, it's a sign of strategy. And you have planets like Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter, all 4 of them in the house of Leo. And it's my belief that when more than 3 planets are there, this is a thumb rule, whenever more than 3 planets are there in a particular house, it spoils that house. So ultimately, it spoils the house of Leo which is there. It spoils the house both for strategy and his relationship with the government in the long run. So this is what I see the horoscope which is there. And you have a Rahu in the 12th house, which is again the debilitation house of Rahu, and Ketu also is debilitated. So here is a man, I would, seeing his horoscope, I would step back. In terms of the entire persona of the horoscope, and the certain things which cannot be said, but a debilitated Saturn, a debilitated Mars, 4 planets in the house of Leo has given him this thing. Rahu is again debilitation. Rahu in exaltation and debilitation means debilitation, a person works negatively in a way. Rahu is a person who thinks out of the box. A person can think out of the box positively, which is an exalted, a good Rahu. But when it is debilitated, then it would be, doing a thing out of box, but in a negative way. The same applies for Saturn and same applies for Mars. Only thing is he's got an exalted moon. So moon, that is Ma Parvati, the Saraswati, the intelligence is there, by which he has been able to come to which position where he has been. But looking at the current horoscope, with Jupiter would be transiting over Taurus, Saturn is going to be in Aquarius and then going into Pisces. Saturn would be meeting Rahu, and Jupiter over there in Moon, and it is in this house, that is, it will be the 56th year, so 12, 24, 36, 48, 48 to 60 would be this house. Of course, it is the 9th house, so that's after 48 things would have been better for him, but 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 56, that is the 56th year. The 56th, 57th year is going to be a year of downfall for him. And I believe, and this is the place where Mars is also getting debilitated as well. And as for my Bhrigu Nadi, and the Lord of this is exalted, that is Moon. So he things would be that he could come close to his mother, or he could be dealing with finance, or he would make more money. I don't know. It could be, those kind of things could be there. But certainly 56, 57 year, both from my Nadi horoscope by rotating Jupiter, and also by the system which I follow in Nadi horoscope, which includes rotating of Jupiter and looking at the transit, I feel that before April, if the elections are held, before March, if the elections are held, Shri Arvind Kejriwal will not come back to power. Will not come back to power. I'm quite, this is what my view is of the horoscope. By my limited knowledge, I do not think he will come back to power. I also feel that the next 5 years for him are going to be a period when he would be struggling with a lot of negativities. He would be struggling with a lot of things which will be hidden, would come out, and the next 5 years are very bad for him in all aspects. And it is negativity at par which would be there. So I also feel that, and my view is that, he would not he would not be coming back to power. On the other hand, he would be struggling with a lot of health, legal. He would try to even get away from the country, from the place, may even try to get away from the whole area of politics. Those kinds of things could happen, and I do not see him, coming back to the power for sure in a limited way. And personally, also, if this date of birth is right, a person with a debilitated Saturn and a debilitated Mars, it's very difficult. It's only Sun which has given him a Sun which is there in its own house, and Moon which is exalted has given him whatever he has till this time. And he should have remained a strategist, a person working at the back and doing something good. That would have helped Saturn and Mars also. But I do not see him coming back coming back to power. And I also see him getting into a kind of oblivion, or fading from the whole scene of politics in the next 5 to 6 years. This is my view, and this is my personal view, and this is based on my limited knowledge of astrology. And I hope time will tell that, and let's see what happens. But this is what I feel, which is astrology is a science which has a lot of elements, and there is, of course, an element of intuition, and there is an element of certain other factors also, but not having his time, only with the date and with my analysis, with my system of Bhrigunadi of rotation, as well as my views on transit, the analysis of transit which I have done, plus certain other things which I would like to explain, I have concluded my assessment about him. With this, I end my video, and again, I would thank you if you have seen it. I would request you to subscribe to my channel if you like this video. I want to reach the 1 lakh mark, so please help me to come to the 1 lakh mark. Please like it. You want to know about more, go to my site shankerstudy.com. My WhatsApp mobile 98187 33000. Once again, I would request you to subscribe and like. Thank you very much.